Hello and welcome back to Dragon Age the Veilguard. Before we get into today's episode where we have to speak with the Dreadwolf, I want to talk about the Descent DLC, because I couldn't fully remember it and I thought a recap would be good to do. So, Descent DLC, what happened in it? Well, in Inquisition, you went down to the deep roads, deeper than other people would usually go, because they found a vein that went, well, deep. You know, you get the idea. The thing was called the Descent. You were descending quite a distance. There, we found some odd-looking darkspawn, as well as some dwarves that had been compelled to protect something. Turns out that they were compelled to protect a titan, which, for all intents and purposes, is like an ancient dwarven god. Now, the titan's blood is actually lyrium. Lyrium being the main thing that allows people to do any sort of magic in the world. Now that's very interesting because it opens up a whole bunch of lore implications. Notably as well because the ancient elves built their temples on large sources of lyrium, which means they built their temples on large sources of titan blood, which is intriguing. It also means that Solas's dagger is effectively made out of that. But that might not end up very well for Harding, because if she then gets that compulsion that forces her to have to go protect the Titans, probably she's gonna attack us at some point. The other thing that happened in the DLC is the Shaper that you were with, basically the dwarf who was with you the whole way, they were receiving gifts from the Titans, and that allowed them to do some form of magic, which also sounds very much like what happened to Harding. So there wasn't actually too much more lore than that, apart from the fact that the Titans were waking up, and that was kind of a big oh no moment at the end of the DLC, which never really got brought up again, so we'll have to see exactly how they decide to use it. Also, I wonder what would have happened if you had a Dwarven Rook at that point. Would you potentially have been able to touch it and do something weird? I have no idea. Anyway, we're going to completely ignore the quest as well right now. We're going to see whether any of our companions want to speak to us first. So let's head out here. Now, ooh, that's interesting. If we look up here, you'll see that that lantern outside of Neve's room, it isn't lit. That means she doesn't want to speak to us. But Harding's is lit, so she wants to speak to us. Let's go see what Harding has to say. Okay.
Toldar is a tunnel. Vedun gar velos atredum. But velos atredum is nothing like Isatunal.
Isatunal. I remember. After you touched the dagger, the prayer, the proclamation, Isatunal. What exactly are you proclaiming?
They don't remember. No one remembers. We don't even know what we lost.
Again, following the rules?
You're not hearing a word I'm saying, are you?
Uh-huh.
You know you're adorable, right?
Sure, whatever you think is best.
Huh?
What? What's happened?
I said, you're adorable.
You're poking fun at me.
Never.
I would never poke fun. I respect you too much.
Is that so?
100%. So, what's Isatunal?
Isatunal is an affirmation, a statement of existence, of being. It means, I am here. But no, not I. I is singular, but it isn't. We either. We is multiple, but also separate.
What?
Isatunal is the eternal hymn that encompasses all time. All spaces. I am, we are, this and that, here, there, now, and forever.
Okay.
Okay. Whatever works for you.
Words aren't enough. It's hard to put into words something you just feel. I'm certain Isatunal describes how we, the dwarves, once were. But none of the books say anything about it. None of the histories are right. If we forgot something so important, what else did we forget?
I don't know.
I'm sorry. I don't expect you to have an answer. Thanks for letting me babble, by the way.
Anytime. That's what I'm here for.
Okay. That's interesting. So, the other thing about the Descent DLC is effectively dwarves came from the Titans in some way. The exact mechanisms of how that happened are a little vague. But the idea was the dwarves who had come back to the Titan and were then near it were then all becoming compelled to protect it as they all were one. I think if you were to think of it a little bit like, I don't know if the right way of putting it, but basically when they became close, they became part of the system, right? They became something that was protecting it because they were a part of it because they all came from the same place. So that could be what she's saying there. Isatunol could be, effectively, the idea of the dwarves all becoming one with the Titans. But, yeah, again, that's not very good for Harding as an individual. Anyway, workshop? Ah! Upgrading your equipment at the Caretaker's Workshop will increase an item's statistics. Finding another version of an existing item or purchasing it from a merchant will increase an item's statistics while also unlocking new properties. Wonderful. So this is the tutorial I think we should have gotten before we got a shop. Empowering the Workshop. Collecting mementos out in the world will let you upgrade the Caretaker's Workshop. Upgrading it will increase the number of enchantments on offer and increase the power level of all weapons you can find or purchase while adventuring. Okay, so obviously we can just pick something and then upgrade it. So let's say I want to upgrade this. It has a bunch of materials that you need and you can upgrade it. Right, and it becomes a +1. So interestingly, this is a different upgrade to buy. If you buy multiples, it appears to upgrade the rarity. If you buy if you get a crafting upgrade, it increases it to a +1. So it increases the default stats on it. Okay, interesting. So they're kind of separate systems if we're looking at them that way. Like one is to increase the rarity, the other is to increase the power of the things. Although it doesn't increase the secondary, interestingly. Let's just head to Balara for a second here. Just because she has one as well. A green one. Yeah, again, this one does the same thing. I'm just seeing if any of these increase the power of the secondary effect. Doesn't appear like they do, no. Okay, interesting. So I don't see a great reason to upgrade right now because we need the materials for other things. But that is interesting that we can do that. Now, it said that we could also upgrade this itself. Like, upgrade the crafting thing itself somehow. However, I don't entirely know how we're meant to do that. Let me just double check the tutorial it said again. Tutorial will be in this menu. Under library. I don't think it will be. Okay, I have no idea how we see a tutorial again. Maybe we don't. Okay, fine. Unless, of course, it might be in our Codex. There's a chance it's in our Codex. No. Okay, well. Yeah, I'm not sure how we upgrade that. You would think it would be fairly straightforward, but I know we can upgrade a single piece of equipment, but don't see a way to upgrade the workbench as a whole. It said that it would increase the power of things that you can see, or of things that you can get, like you can loot. But I don't see how you would do that. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how you would upgrade that. Okay, cool. What is this? Change monument. Ah, so we can change from an altar to Fen Haral to a Hanan Gilan, a legendary Hala. We'll stick with the wolf for now. It's okay. Anything else on the map? No, we could go speak to Varric. Okay, could definitely do that. We can also go speak to Balara as well if she has something to say, which she probably does. Okay, cool. Also, we got some up and down bits here. Yeah, I don't know what else it says that we need to do on the map. It also says that there are 2 chests available on this map, but I don't know where they actually are. Yeah, there must be areas we can't access yet. Oh, and then we got a journal. Ah, that's what's telling us is new, the journal. Ah, the story so far. Cool, and then the enemy of my enemy is a sub-story. Okay. Oh, and then each of the characters, you can see how their story is so far. Oh. Okay. Interesting. That's kind of cool. Right, anything new in the Codex that we need to read? So the Elven people, we have a new thing here. From Strife's journal, Ruin's Reach. Veil Jumper recruits always ask me the same question. What is Ruin's Reach? I tell them it depends on the day of the week. It's always changing. One week the trees burn blue. The next you'll hear voices speak to you from thin air. The truth is we don't know what it is. We only know that a stretch of forest where you could have a pleasant picnic is now an ever-shifting hall of mirrors and chaos. It's like reality is trying to figure out what it wants to be, what shape it wants to take, and it keeps changing its minds. I've explored Arlathan Forest for much of my life, and I've never felt so confused. The forest I once knew is becoming something else. And you get that weird image. Okay. It's cool. Dwarven people. A letter home. An unsent letter from Harding to her mother. My dearest Ma, I'm writing to you from Minrathus into Winter. I'm into Winter. Isn't that amazing? Yes, there are power-hungry mages, enslavers, and cultists, but the city is so much more than that. You should see the magical lights. I mentioned this before, but I don't really work for the Inquisition the way I used to. This is complicated. I do miss it. I miss Skyhold and my friends there, but Charter still keeps in contact, and I'm working with Varric doing something very important. Wish I could tell you more. Soon, though. We're very close to finding the person we've been tracking. Once that's over, I'll come home, and you'll get to hear the whole story. Maybe I'll even be in time for the sheep shearing. Lots of love, Lace. Okay. Interesting. See why she didn't send it, given what happened. World of Thedas. Okay, I'll leave that for a second. Let's have a look at Miscellaneous first. Harding's notes, Lyrium Dagger. They had no idea it was a dagger when they found it in the primeval tag. It looked like an idol with figures carved from red lyrium. Didn't want to stare at it for too long, Varric once said. Felt like it was staring back. His brother Bartrand kept the idol for himself and probably stared at it much too long. When he felt his sanity slipping, Bartrand sold the idol to the Knight Commander Meredith of Kirkwall, who forged the idol into a blade. It didn't end well for her. So that is the plot of Dragon Age 2. The idol remained lodged in Meredith's petrified remains until it was removed some years ago, presumably by Solas, and restored to its original form. That's when we learned about the idol's connection to the elven gods. Solas used the lyrium dagger to create the veil, and he's going to use it to bring the veil down. I don't remember if that was in Inquisition, but I have to assume that was in Inquisition? Okay. Yeah, so that's where the dagger came from. Huh. Alright then. I don't know why I keep backing out, but anyway. World of Thedas. So, we've read Arlathan 1, so is this Arlathan 2? It is. Okay. You ask what happened to Arlathan. Sadly, we do not know. Even those of us who keep the ancient lore have no record of what truly happened. What we have are accounts of the days before the fall, and a fable of the whims of the gods. The human world was changing, even as the elves slept. Clans and tribes gave way to a powerful empire called Tevinter, which, and for what reason we do not know, moved to conquer Elfhenan. When they breached the great city of Arlathan, our people, fearful of disease and loss of immortality, chose to flee rather than fight. With magic, demons, and even dragons at their behest, the Tevinter Imperium marched easily through Arlathan, destroying homes and galleries and amphitheaters that had stood for ages. Our people were corralled as slaves, and human contact quickened in their veins until every captured elf turned mortal. The elves called to their ancient gods, but there was no answer. As to why the gods didn't answer, our people left only a legend. They say that Fen'Haral, the Dread Wolf and Lord of Tricksters, approached the ancient gods of good and evil and proposed a truce. The gods of good would remove themselves to heaven, and the lords of evil would exile themselves to the abyss, neither group ever again to enter the other's lands. But the gods did not know that Fen'Haral planned to betray them, and by the time they realized the Dread Wolf's treachery, they were sealed in their respective realms, never again to interact with the mortal world. It is a fable to be sure, but those elves who travel the beyond claim that Fen'Haral still roams the world of dreams, keeping watch over the gods lest they escape from their prisons. Whatever the case, Arlathan had fallen to the very humans our people had once considered mere pests. It is said that the Tevinter Magisters used their great destructive power to force the very ground to swallow Arlathan whole, destroying aeons of collected knowledge, culture, and art. The whole of elven lore left only to memory. From the fall of Arlathan is told by Gisharel, keeper of the Balaferin clan of Dalish elves. Okay. So a little bit more on the elves there. And now we have Beyond the Veil, Spirits and Demons. It is challenging enough for the casual observer to tell the difference between the Fade and the creatures that live within it, let alone between one type of spirit and another. In truth, there is little that distinguishes them, even for the most astute mages. Since spirits are not physical entities and are therefore not restricted to recognizable forms, or even having a form at all, one can never tell for certain what is alive and what is merely part of the scenery. It is therefore advisable for the inexperienced researcher to greet all objects he encounters. Typically, we misuse the term spirit to refer only to the benign, or at least the less malevolent creatures of the Fade, but in truth all the denizens of the realm beyond the veil are spirits. As the Chant of Light notes, everything within the Fade is a mimicry of our world, a poor imitation, for the spirits do not remotely understand what they are copying. It is no surprise that much of the Fade appears like a manuscript translated from Tevinter into Orlesian and back again by drunken initiates. In general, the spirits are not complex, or rather they are not complex as we understand such things. Each one seizes upon a single facet of human experience: rage, hunger, compassion, hope, etc. This one idea becomes their identity. We classify demons, those spirits who identify themselves with darker human emotions and ideas. What's interesting is that we found in Dragon Age Awakening, which is the big expansion for Origins, and 2, that although you can have a spirit that has a singular ideal, they can change. So there was a spirit of justice in Awakening, which in 2, I believe twisted into a spirit of vengeance. I think that's correct from memory. So, although they seize upon one facet of the human experience, they can change. Most common and weakest form of demon one encounters in the Fade is the Rage Demon. They are much like perpetual boiling kettles, for they exist only to vent hatred, but rarely have an object to hate. Somewhat above these are the Hunger Demons, who do little but eat or attempt to eat everything they encounter, including other demons. This is rarely successful. Then there are the Sloth Demons. These are the first intelligent creatures one typically finds in the Fade. They are dangerous only on the rare occasions that they can be induced to get up and do harm. Desire Demons are more clever and far more powerful, using all forms of bribery to induce mortals into their realms. Wealth, love, vengeance, whatever lies closest to your heart. The most powerful demons yet encountered are the Pride Demons, perhaps because they, among their kind, most resemble men. From Beyond the Veil, Spirits and Demons by Enchanter Myrdromel. Also important to note, again, from these ones, is that they give each of these Codex entries a specific person who wrote them. So, although we can assume most of the information in them is correct, they are correct from Enchanter Myrdromel's point of view. So, that would probably mean that is correct from like a Circle Mage's point of view, rather than being correct from, say, a Witch of the Wild like Morrigan's point of view, right? They could be different. So, it's worth mentioning. Anyway, we also leveled up last time, didn't we? Yes, so a new skill. Do I want to take Affliction damage 10%? So, bleeds would do more. Or do I want to move over here for leaping, shot, or physical resistance? I kind of like the idea of going over here, because then I can get perfect defense grants and necrotic weapons that deal more damage. And while wearing medium helmet armor, you gain more critical damage, sword damage, and perfect defense momentum. Yeah, that sounds good. Although we aren't actually using medium armor right now. But yeah, we could head into here. And then maybe work our way up to apply more stacks. Maybe we could start making a stack build, maybe? Don't know. It's worth thinking about. Yeah, let's grab this for now, though. We can always refund all of the points, so we shouldn't be too precious about it. Now, we also just got a level up for Harding, did we? Oh, this is just telling us we have her bow. That's fine, but we do actually have a level up. Cool. So she has 5 abilities. What are the abilities? So we have Adrenaline Rush, which we've already seen. We have Soothing Potion, which is cool. What is Rejuvenation? Healing over time. Okay. Shred, which we've also seen. So it shreds her opponent's defenses with a decisive shot, deals a high amount of stagger. Heavy Draw. Detonates Overwhelmed. Harding draws her bowstring back as far as it will go, unleashing a devastating shot. And then, Seismic Shot. Lets loose a powerful bow shot, creating a mid-air shockwave that concusses enemies caught in the blast. Deals very high stagger. Is likely to disrupt enemies. What does this do? When activated, you gain 20% ultimate. That's pretty cool. Okay. So this one increases the stagger here. Soothing Potion increases the duration. Damage versus armor. That would give her Shred a really good purpose for us. Damage versus armor. Let's maybe take that. What's next on it? When Shred hits an enemy, you gain precision. Next charged or final attack on an enemy will be a critical. Okay. Might take that and then maybe Adrenaline Rush. I like the bonuses to both of those. Yeah. And we'll leave things as they are for her right now. We might change them up later. Right. And then character. Tell me I have a new helm that I didn't look at or didn't look at properly. Yeah. What's this thing on the side? Delirium Dagger. Oh, it's going to be something we can upgrade? Interesting. Guess I should really go speak to Solas, huh? Right. So that's done. Nothing over there. Head back this way. And we'll head in. So he thinks we should speak to Solas there. I'm going to ignore that for now. And let's just check. Is this where Ballara is? Oh yeah, it is. Perfect. You got anything to say?
Oh, Rook! Hello! I've never seen an eluvian like this before. Not intact, anyways. Fascinating.
Okay. Cool. And then it's Varric, who I don't think has anything to say, but that's alright. We'll still go speak with him anyway, just to see if he has any good points of wisdom for us. Right, so that will be along this one. Okay. Hello. Nope, still feeling ill. That's fine. Alright. So, let's head this way.
Wait, that room wasn't there before, I don't think.
Yeah. Actually, before we do that, I just want to talk about Varric for a second here. I just realized he was stabbed with the lyrium dagger, right? And we've just learned that that lyrium dagger is the same one from Dragon Age 2, which ended up getting his brother killed. So he's stabbed by the same weapon that got his brother killed? That's well, that's a bad luck for that family, that dagger. Meditation
Never Harding
chamber.
must have put my pack here. Makes sense. Better place to sleep than the infirmary. Guess I can spare a few moments to unpack my things.
Got an aquarium. Okay. On life in the Lighthouse. This ancient logbook is filled with meticulous Veilfire runes. Though it is encoded, flickering through it offers vignettes of borrowed memory. Fearful refugees are ushered to the lighthouse through eluvians, emerging from the infirmary and libraries as soldiers, spies, and scholars. Gardeners plant long extinct herbs that grow, are harvested, and wither in the blink of an eye. The sharp smell of distilling medicine wafts from a window, and poison for the enemy drips into a vial. The Arguments of a war council go on late into the night. Forbidden songs are sung freely, with filthy lyrics substituted for the Evanurus' names. Finally, a heated conversation silhouetted against glass with quick shadows darting behind it. The argument ends with a wordless but unmistakable impression. You summoned them, you feed them. Alright. Interesting. So I'm assuming that's somebody speaking to Solas. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. So we have our fish. Don't know why we have fish, but okay. And then we have our pack, which we can unpack. Place Varric shaving mirror, elven artifact.
Varric and his life lessons. I asked him how we were supposed to stop Solas, and he gave me this. Take a long, hard look in it, kid. It'll always show the face of a hero who can get it done.
Ah, okay. So this allows us to change our looks if we want to. Enough reflection.
If I'm the one who's got to get it done, I should stop admiring myself and get to work.
Okay, fair enough. Then this.
This piece is all that's left of the artifact that trapped Varric and the others in Arlethan Forest the day we met. Only thing left of my time with the Veil Jumpers, too. Strife said he didn't want to see me again until I'd gotten some sense pounded into my head.
I made the right call.
Being a Veil Jumper means taking risks. Strife of all people should have understood that.
Okay. So that was whether we made the right call to go back for the people. This was all in our backstory. To go back for people or for to... or to keep the map safe that we had. Okay, ancient elven scroll.
A peddler gave me this after I saved his caravan from bandits. He told me the scroll went back to even before Tevinter. Said that elves had a rich history, even more than the rest of us.
Well, I don't know what we're going to say here. Let's talk about travel.
He had fancy silks from Orlais, statuettes from the wilds down south. I could have listened to stories all night about places he'd been. Now I'm getting to see some of those places myself.
Okay, anything else I need? Oh, and there's another keepsake I need to place? Where? Oh. Rogue's practice kit.
The tools every professional scoundrel needs when learning the trade. I spent as much time picking locks and mixing poisons as I did training with blades or a bow.
Wonder if any of these choices make a difference at some point. But, let's say it was hard but worthwhile.
It took me so long learning to get the alchemical mixtures just right. But what I learned saved my life more than once. Right, that's better. Now how do I connect to Solas? Just sleep or... relaxing? Maybe if I clear my mind,
Meditate?
Back so soon. It must have been worse than I had thought.
Hello, Dreadwolf.
Ah, but perhaps I am mistaken. You may be here to correct me, to tell me that my concerns were unfounded. Did I overstate the danger?
You did not.
No, it appears to be just about as bad as you said.
How unfortunate for you.
I need to know what the gods are planning.
You are asking for knowledge no mortal in this world is privy to. If I am to share it with you, I need to know what makes you the right person to lead the fight against Algernon and Gelanein.
Nothing, but I'm here, I'm not in charge, or I punch up, you should know. I think we'll say nothing, but I'm here. Basically say who's your second choice.
Someone has to do something. I may not be the right person for this job, but I'm the only one left.
So your call to action is that any attempt is better than none?
With the Veil Jumpers, I was in a dangerous part of the forest full of wild magic. My team got free, but not everyone did. There were a lot of people still trapped, including Varric.
So you went in, against orders, and freed them.
How'd you know that?
You helped Varric pursue me for the better part of a year. It would have been foolish not to learn about who was hunting me.
Then you know that if someone has to make a call, I'll do it.
I suppose I was not so different when I started.
Started what?
My rebellion against the Evanuris. The elven gods, as you call them. They wish to reclaim their dominion over this world. To accomplish that, they will need two things. First, the Blight. What exists in this world is a bare fragment of its power. The rest is imprisoned, until they release it.
Okay. Well, why blight the world?
I don't understand. Elgranon and Gillenane were elves like you, right? Why would they want to blight the world?
It is my fault. As the Dread Wolf, I was a thorn in their side. When my efforts weakened their grasp on the elven people, they grew frustrated, then desperate.
And turned to the blight.
Once the corruption took hold of them, they were blind to its horror. It was just another source of power for them. Now they would blight the world without hesitation and call us backward and foolish for opposing them.
Okay. It didn't escape?
The blight didn't escape with the gods?
Elganon and Gillenane escaped largely empty-handed, fortunately. Most of the blight is still trapped in the prison I created ages ago.
So what we saw at that village, that's them not at full strength?
Correct.
Is bigger than what we have?
The rest of the blight is imprisoned? There's more than what's in the world already?
Yes. Centuries ago, the Magisters of Tevinter opened my prison. A tiny fragment of the blight escaped. That fragment grew beneath the earth and led to the blights that have swept across the world. However terrible the blight is now, it is a mere fraction of what we will see if its full power is unleashed.
Okay. Can we stop them?
But we can stop them from freeing the blight, right?
They will need to pierce the veil to reach the blight's prison. My lyrium dagger is one of the few artifacts capable of doing so.
We've already recovered it from the ritual site.
Excellent. Then they will have to make their own. That will give you time.
You said the gods needed two things, and the blight is the first. What's the second?
Followers. They have called themselves gods. And what is a god without worshippers to sing their praises?
When the Dalish elves started the Veil Jumpers, we uncovered a lot about how terrible our gods were. I don't think the elven people will bend a knee to blighted, murderous monsters.
Agreed. Elganon and Gillenane care little for the elves. They will find worshippers among those hungry for power. Tyrants and bullies. The cruel and the corrupt, who fear their own vulnerability and seize any chance to feel strong. If you hunt them, they will lead you to Elganon and Gillenane.
Let's try and get more. Let's, he's still not quite in our circle of friendship yet. Let's just put it that way.
I came here for specifics, not fortune-telling.
I would tell you more were I not currently in prison thanks to your actions.
Fine. I'll go kick the trees and see what falls out.
The Veravas, the Lighthouse eluvian, can take you anywhere, if you master its secrets. Have you done so?
Not yet, but we've got one of the Veil Jumpers working on it. She'll get it sorted and we'll see how it goes.
Yes. I suppose we will. And when you speak with Varric, please tell him that I regret what happened.
Wardrobe. You've acquired new appearances for your equipment. Alright. We're getting tutorials in a very weird order. Enter decoration. Decoration mode? Change decor? I can put, like, okay. Let's not worry about that. I'm assuming the wardrobe is the blood dragon stuff that we... Yeah, so we don't actually have anything new. It's just telling us we have the blood dragon stuff. That's fine. Okay. I guess I should go speak with Varric. That makes sense to me. Seems like a thing we should do. Hello, Varric. Oh, seems to be up and about now.
So Solas told the truth about the gods.
You heard? It's bad, Varric. If you had seen Demeter's crossing...
The team needs to act fast. And it can't do that with me leading from a bed. You've got to take point on this.
Well, I don't want your job.
I didn't come in here trying to take your job, Varric.
I know you didn't. But it's what the team needs right now.
You sure? Neve got hurt because she listened to me.
Rook, when I put this team together, what did I look for? A detective to find the Dreadwolf, and a scout to get us the lay of the land. Exactly the people he'd expect me to recruit. Disciplined, predictable. And then there's you. Remember when we first met, kid? That first ill-fated Arlathan expedition. Not the recent one. Demons just kept coming for us. Dozens. Hundreds. But you didn't give up. You found a path out of that forest. Led us from the darkest depths back to safety. Lost that magic map. Pissed off some historians, but you've got a knack, kid.
For what?
Finding a way through the wildest shit I've ever seen. With a plan that no one expects. On the best day of his life, Solas wouldn't see you coming, Rook. And don't worry. I'll still be here to talk if you need me.
Okay then, what do you have to say? Let's talk about Solas first.
There is something. Did Neve tell you about me talking to Solas in the Fade?
I had some good arguments with Chuckles back in the day. I can't imagine being stuck with him in my head. But how are you feeling about it?
I think we can say we're worried.
He's the god of lies and he's inside my head, Varric. How do you think I feel about that?
Fair enough. But Neve's a great mage. If you need her to whip up a ward to keep him out of your mind, she can. But you haven't asked her to. Why not?
Solas is our best source of information about these elven gods. We can't stop them without what he knows.
So you're making the decision to keep talking with him?
Yeah.
You're making a choice. Stay careful, stay worried, but don't beat yourself up about doing what you have to do.
He also asked me to tell you that he regrets what happened. Hurting you, I mean.
Chuckles is sentimental. He could burn the world down, and the thing that would make him cry is a single flower with blackened petals.
That's a good analogy. Let's talk about Demeter's Crossing next.
Demeter's Crossing was awful. While we were there, we found one survivor, the mayor.
You took him back to the Veil Jumpers.
Not everyone was happy about my decision. We're just starting out and I'm already losing their trust.
The key to earning the team's trust isn't to only make decisions everyone agrees with. It's showing the team that they can tell you whatever's on their mind, even if they think you're full of crap. And know you'll listen.
Okay. And let's talk about Neve.
When I took over at the ritual site, I had to make a call on who came with me to knock over that statue. It was the first decision I made leading this team, and Neve got hurt because of it.
You made a decision with the best information you had. Sometimes you do that, and people end up hurt. Or worse.
What would you have done?
What would I have done? Probably gotten myself killed and failed to stop the ritual if you hadn't stepped in. A good leader isn't someone who never makes mistakes. It's someone who admits when they make one. That's how you earn their trust.
Alright, talk to you later.
I'll let you get some rest.
You're gonna be fine, Rook. Hey, one last thing before you go. I've been racking my brain thinking of contacts who might help us with these gods.
You got any ideas?
Nothing. But being a leader isn't about having all the answers yourself. It's about knowing who does. Neve has connections to a whole world that Harding and I barely know. Might be worth talking to her.
Will do. Thanks, Varric.
Anytime.
Sorry, I have to bring up Varric on something here. You can't think of a single person?
You can stop fussing over me. Go see what the others are up to.
You can't think of a single person who you think could help? You've been in 2 mainline Dragon Age games filled with like at least 20 to 30 people who could probably assist in the situation, and you're like, I don't know. Don't really feel it. You know, anyone from Cassandra, who at this point could be leader of the Chantry, to the Inquisitor, to Hawk from Dragon Age 2, to any of your companions in any of the games. None of these people come to mind? Alright, well, moving on. Or, you know, like Morgan? You remember her, the person who knows all about the eluvians? Oh, okay. Alright. Anyway, moving on. Right. Let's head down here. Wait, what am I even doing? I'm heading to Neve? Is that what I'm doing now? Also, what's my character doing? I think they're just unhappy about me moving around like this. Yeah, let's go check in with her. Okay. Yeah, this way. Right, and now her thing should be lit up in front of her. Yeah. Wonderful. Let's head in here.
Hey, Neve. Hi, Wisps.
Yeah, they're still here. But you're here for leads. You want allies to go after the gods? I've got places to look, if we can get anywhere but Arlathan.
Balara's working on it. What have you got?
Let's start with the angles we know. The gods are corrupt magic personified. Who do we hire to fight that? First, the Antivan Crows.
You want to fight gods with assassins?
Not just any assassin, their most feared mage killer, the Demon of Virantium.
Okay. Mage killer isn't a problem for you?
Working with a feared mage killer doesn't bother you?
If he doesn't have a contract out on me, it's not a problem.
Okay. Well, let's go boss mode. Is the reputation earned? We're going to be stern.
It's a fancy name. Can he back it up?
That's the question. The demon got his nickname taking out blood mages and Venatori. From everything I've learned, the reputation was earned. I never uncovered his real name, and there's been fewer stories the last few years, but the Crows would know. I can set a meeting with their bosses.
Okay. And now we'll lighten up.
This is great. Thanks, Neve.
It's what I'm here for.
You said the Crows were first. What's next?
A trip home.
Back to Minrathous.
Capital city and heart of Tevinter. An empire of mages that knows a thing or two about corrupt magic.
Tevinter authority
Won't help and can't be trusted, which is why we talk to the Shadow Dragons. They're a resistance group that fights slavers, blood magic, and imperial corruption. They've got eyes and ears everywhere, including mine. If the gods enter the empire, we might get something. Besides, I owe them an update.
Are they mages?
Are they all mages?
Tevinter might prize its mages, but the Shadows accept anyone. We've all got a stake in the cause.
Okay, again, sternness.
You sure we can trust these shadow dragons?
You've got a better shot with them than most in the city.
So, we talked to the Crows in Antiva and the shadow dragons in Minrathous.
I wouldn't mind checking in on my neighborhood either. If Balara's ready for us.
Yeah, should check how things are going.
Okay. We can do that. Doesn't want to speak with us anymore. Want to speak with Balara. Alright. We have a couple of new quests. Let's go see what Balara has to say. Right. Over here and... Hello, Balara.
Almost there. I just have to... Shit! Sorry.
Can I help?
No, I got it. Mostly. Mirrors are funny things, aren't they? Reflections. They distort reality, no matter what you try. And there's the trick. Control that distortion. There you have it.
What is that place?
If I had to guess, it's the Fade. Another part of it, I mean.
Didn't Morrigan say this eluvian could go anywhere? Didn't think that meant elsewhere in the Fade.
She called it the Vir of Us, freedom of ways. I wonder...
Wonder what?
If you have an idea what that place is, Balara, share it. We don't have time to waste.
Some of the older texts talk about a place in the Fade where all the eluvians meet. A crossroads where you could travel across all of Thedas in just minutes.
Right. We saw something similar when we were chasing Solas. I wonder if it's the same.
It is alike, and it is not.
So, this is where you went during Trespasser, and that's what Harding is referring to. Okay. Sternness.
I've had enough surprises today, Spirit. Tread carefully.
The wolf's fang. You carry it now. Old paths. A new journey. Through there. I will wait.
Well, can't tell if that's a trap or not. But we're short on options. One way to find out.
And it didn't feel dangerous, you know? Almost more sad.
Yeah, let's be careful.
We have no idea what or who they are. So let's be careful. We need to be ready for anything.
And we still don't know what this eluvian's gonna do. One of us should probably stay behind in case it closes.
Good point.
Just tell us when you're ready to go, Rook, and then we can figure out what's going on.
Okay. Magic dampener notes. Okay, initial notes on the dampener's operation. Dampener creates a counter-resonance to the Fade. That's why it's safe to live here. No one's been torn apart yet that I know of. But the counter-resonance from the dampener is tuned to the specific part of the Fade. The more you move away from the spot, the less effective it would be. There's a theory that every mage has a unique resonance, that the way they touch magic is just a little bit different. Theoretically, could you tune the dampener to a person's resonance instead? Make it so they couldn't use magic? It would be hard to figure out someone's specific resonance, would need examples of their magic. Need third volume of Harris's collected essays. We'll ask the professor if he has it. Okay. And we have something new in Miscellaneous? We have many new in Miscellaneous. Letter from Solas to Elgarnon. To Elgarnon, son Tamer, general of the enlightened army, first of the Evanurus, ruler of Arlathan, who woke at the dawn of the elves. From Solas, spirit seeker, second to Mythal, then Harald the Dread Wolf, who is no younger. Ask you again to reconsider. To claim there is no difference between ruling as a king and ruling as a god begs the question of why you feel it necessary to claim such a title for yourself. Most of the people accept your rule. You have shackled their bodies. Must you shackle their minds in turn? There is much we disagree upon, but you must see that hobbling our people with such claims will limit their spirits and tarnish the gleam of your leadership. Your power is unquestioned. May your wisdom match it. Elgarnon's reply. To Solas, spirit speaker, second to Mythal, Dreadwolf. Did he miss something in there? He didn't have the full thing, but that's okay. Our Lord Elgarnon has received your words and will give them the consideration they deserve. It's well known that our Lord Elgarnon is devoted to his people and their well-being and wishes for them to have lives of peace and abundance. Regards, Desmal, Bloodhound to Elgarnon, keeper of his rights. On behalf of Elgarnon's son Tamer, Crown of Arlathan, first of the firstborn, Lord of the day and night, who woke at the dawn of the Elven. Letter to Charter. Charter. Yes, the trail went cold. Harding is probably the best damn scout in Thedas, and she couldn't pick it up again. No, I'm not giving up yet. The Inquisitor and I are in perfect agreement here. Solas has to be stopped. He thinks the world is broken, and the only way to fix it is to blow it all up and rebuild from the ashes. I don't care how much better the shiny new world will be after someone else buries all the bodies for him. I spent enough years of my life doing that cleanup already. The people who live in this world, the broken, shitty one, their lives are worth just as much as his beautiful elven paradise, and the worst part is, he knows it. It's my last chance to make things right. I have to take it. Varric. Okay, so just some generic lore that we got there as we're going through it. Interesting. So bits of the Codex are just opening up due to story progress. Alright. Well, we will go into the crossroads next time. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.